Okay, well, look, I want to end just by reminding everybody about this piece of legislation because, of course, when we are talking about protest marches, demonstrations, and so on, inevitably at every demonstration, there is a fringe element there which may be behaving in a way which most people don't agree with. And those are the sets of behaviors which end up in the headlines in the mainstream press and generates the kind of angst and problems that we were discussing at the very beginning of this program. But just remember that not too long ago, the Covert Human Intelligence Sources Criminal Conduct Bill 2019 to 21 was brought through Parliament and it has and eventually received royal assent. It is now an act of Parliament, and this permits agents of the state to break the law. It's not clear what the purpose of that law breaking is for, but this is all about infiltrating movements and pursuing a government agenda within movements. And let's just remind ourselves about what the text of this bill said: a bill to make provision for and in connection with the authorization of criminal conduct in the course of or otherwise in connection with the conduct of covert human intelligence sources. This is people working for the state, getting involved in campaign groups and other protest organizations and so on. And at the time that this was being discussed, if you remember, there was no particular limit on the type of criminal conduct that was permitted by this. There were no limits on that in the legislation itself. And if we look at the number of organizations that are entitled to authorize this kind of criminality, some very surprising names on this. Names that aren't surprising, perhaps, like any police force in the United Kingdom, the National Crime Agency, the Serious Fraud Office, any of the intelligence services. So far, any of Her Majesty's forces, so far we might not be surprised by this. Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the Department of Health and Social Care, the Home Office, the Ministry of Justice, the Competition and Markets Authority, the Environment Agency, the Financial Conduct Authority, the Food Standards Agency, the Gambling Commission. So these are the types of organizations entitled to break the law or to have their agents break the law. And the question has to be, for what purpose? Really, at this point, it is staggering to me that this type of legislation has been allowed to get passed without any serious pushback from the general public. I just want to get some thoughts from both of you. Ben, first of all, I know you weren't aware of this until this morning, but it is really an incredible situation where agents are put above the law in order to try to drive certain behaviors in society.
Well, I mean, it's mind-boggling, actually. And essentially what they're saying is that, well, what the bill does, like that they are above the law. That's what they're saying. The state is above the law. And what's really interesting, actually, is that even why on earth would the FCA be able to do this? You know, why would any of these regulatory agencies be able to do this? I mean, actually, why would anyone be able to do this? But that list of names is absolutely astonishing. And what essentially we're looking at here is a state that is completely, utterly, entirely out of control.
Yes, Vanessa. Finally, any thoughts? You're muted.
No, I'm not.
Right. No, we can hear you now.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, I lost you. So I just closed the link and came back again. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is extraordinary, and I think the point that I want to make about these marches, apart from the possibility of false flags, apart from the possibility of agents provocateurs, and who will those agents provocateurs be? Of course, we have to remember that Britain is responsible for sponsoring terrorism in the region, including most recently in Syria, and that those terrorist factions are being given back into the UK. So we've seen various false flags on British soil. So I think, you know, there is a huge danger of that.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. So we got to keep that in mind when we're looking at the headlines in the coming days. We will leave it there for today. Thank you very much to everybody that has joined us. Thank you to Vanessa and Ben for taking part. We'll be back for Extra in a couple of minutes if you're a UK column member. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we will see you at 1 p.m. on Monday. Bye-bye.